What happens when we cross into the world of time? All right, that is the question for today. That is the question for number 109 on the list of the 144 fractal faculties of the Tree of Life. If you'd like to get a complete listing of all 144 fractal faculties, just alert me to that in the comment section and leave your email. I'll send that out to you for free. If you'd like to get just a little bit of an update on your Tree of Life skills, Tree of Life understanding, just watch my video called Tree of Life, a short introduction. It's just 10 minutes and it will pay you back because you'll be able to watch all my videos and understand them a little bit more. You can also order a copy of my book called the MASSTree, which is just an intro to the Tree of Life. I think it's about 70 pages and it's $10. So if you give me $10 on my Cash App or Venmo and put it in the memo, I'll send that out to you. Okay, now number 109 is where we're at today, and you can see on the Tree of Life here, this Tree of Life is basically a map of our consciousness. Each one of the circles or spheres on the tree is an aspect of our consciousness or a faculty of our consciousness. And there are, the tree is numbered 10 through 0 above the tree. And then there's also an abyss here. So there are a total of 12 different faculties, major faculties of consciousness. And today for number 109, we're moving into the second sphere, okay? So the second sphere is one of our faculties of consciousness. It's one of our divine faculties of consciousness. Numbers 3, 2, and 1, our Trinity here. Omnipotence, all-powerful. Omniscience, all-knowing or wisdom. And omnipresence, all-present, everywhere at once. And number 2, all knowing, omniscient, or wisdom. This boils down to basically our ability to, again, it's not like omnipotence. It doesn't mean that you can do anything. It means that you can do anything humanly possible. And here also, it doesn't mean that you know everything. Like you don't know how many hairs you have on your body. You may be able to approach that through the abyss, through the psychic powers. But this wisdom faculty is more or less our ability to solve problems that we have in our life. And we can solve problems that other people have in their life also, or at least propose solutions to those problems. And the way that that is really done, now we said that this side here is about auditory phenomena. This side here is about visual phenomena, okay? What we're able to do here is we're able to see the higher self. The higher self is really the first sphere, our, what you would call God particle or the ether or our self, higher self. And when we are able to see the higher self, we are able to see the solution to the problem that we're trying to approach. And the way that we approach the problem is unlike at the A sphere. When we have a problem, we think about how to solve it. We come up with different schemes, different methods to solve the problem. And that this gets into like number 34 on the tree, which is called unforeseen circumstances, where you come up with a solution to the problem, but the solution always creates another problem or maybe several other problems that you didn't foresee from beforehand. So this is kind of like the Wile E. Coyote kind of situation. Politicians have this problem a lot too, where they propose a solution to the problem, but they didn't really think about it carefully enough to recognize all the other problems that it was going to create at the same time. But here at the second sphere, you are able to solve problems without creating other problems. And that's done not by thinking about the problem, but by not thinking about the problem. People have a kind of a misnomer to, thinking that thinking is how you solve problems, but it's much, much harder to not think than it is to think. To be able to shut your mind down, because what we are doing when we're thinking is we're orienting ourselves. We're constantly, saying, well, this is the status quo. This is where we're at now. Now, given that, what are our options? What are our possibilities? But by not thinking about the problem, you're not limiting yourself by what is possible. You're not limiting yourself by the status quo. You're open to anything that comes in, whether that's a verbal thought, a visual thought, or whatever. And by eliminating that orientation and that, what is possible and what is probable and what is not possible, you're able to look at the problem in a way that brings the solution. And now it's very difficult terrain. It's very difficult to shut the mind down, and to be able to shut the mind down long enough for some of these solutions to emerge may be beyond your or our spiritual evolution capabilities. You have to really train yourself to be able to shut your mind down for that long. And so as a result, there is what you would call a surrogate elder, our surrogate wisdom source, which is the oracle or the divination system. And the divination system is where, the person, the free will actor here, gives up their free will toward the deck of cards, or the lots to be drawn, or the coins or cowrie shells that are used to connect ourselves with a randomness. It's a random process that connects us with the higher self. So when we shake the dice, so to speak, and throw the dice, when the dice are in the air, the higher self or the creator within takes control of those dice and puts them down in a way that's going to communicate with you, if the oracle is set up the right way, which is probably a different discussion. So anyway, the second sphere, the wisdom faculty, is tapped into either through shutting our own mind down and being able to see into the higher self, or to be able to contact through this divination system, through surrogate wisdom source, through the divination system. Now, when we are able to, we can envision this, we're able to calm our minds down. What we're doing is we're lowering the amplitude. We are, it's just like a body of water where we are able to calm the seas, calm the waves, so that the surface is just completely clear, completely motionless, calm. And through that calming, we're able to actually, when the water is that calm, we're able to actually see through the surface and see all the way to the bottom. It becomes transparent, not opaque. And that is kind of how we see it. And that the higher self is really at the bottom or at the center of that body of water. and we're able to see it. So that's how it really happens, is by calming the waters. Okay, now that second sphere is really just our that's where we're located here. That's one of our 12 faculties. But how do we get from 12 faculties to 144 minor faculties, or fractal faculties? We take the tree to the second power. So we're taking the whole tree, shrinking it down to the size of just one sphere, and applying it to each one of the spheres. So we put a tree here, and a tree here, and a tree here, and a tree here, and so on. And so we're dividing each one of the 12 faculties into their 12 mini faculties. And 12 times 12 is 144. So that's how we get the 144 fractal faculties. So for number 109, what we're really looking at is we're looking at a mini 10th sphere within the second sphere. So the 10th sphere, if we recall, has to do with our survival, our instinct. This is our faculty of survival, or our faculty of instinct, where we're, and this is already open as we are born. We already have this. The rest of them we have to open up gradually over the course of our life. The ninth sphere comes open very early in our life, but the survival is what we have to go with when we start life. And this is our, life force. Kill or be killed, the law of the jungle, and the state of nature. And it's also the state of our body. And so those things are all here in miniature form in the second sphere when we're talking about number 109. And the question, what happens when we cross into the world of time? Number 109, a separate reality. Stage number 109 is about moving out of 3D space and moving into the world of 3D time, which has different rules that are equally real but utterly mind-blowing. Submerged deep in meditation, tripping out hard, blown away by the flip across a speed boundary, a unit boundary, into a new world, blown mind. When the light comes on in the third eye, the initiate opens access to wisdom, crossing into the cosmic aspects of the universe, where measurements are made in time instead of space. But we cannot see time, only space. So when we convert time back into space through their reciprocal relationship, we call it equivalent space, which is a two-dimensional relation. For example, a white dwarf star is an explosion in time, which we cannot see, but we do see it instead as an implosion in space. So it looks like a really small, really dense star, even though it isn't. It is really very large and very diffuse in time. The stronger the explosion, the smaller and denser we see the star. An inverse blow-up, or blow-in. Implosion, with the matter moving toward the surface, creating a hollow sphere. Time has been emptied beyond all logical density. We can't see time. Same with galaxies exploded in time, which we call quasars. Or is that a psyop from the astronomer quasars? Moving into the latter stages of insight, we are literally exploding into time, into the time region, seen in a second dimensional relation in equivalent space. blown away back into the time region, 3D time, the inverse of which is equivalent space. So when the light comes on in the third eye, the initiate opens access to wisdom, which comes in jolts, in pulses, and it can overwhelm. For this reason, psychedelic plant substances, which can be used to activate the third eye, can be dangerous without the proper prerequisites and postrequisites. Theoretically, a star explodes if sufficiently powerful. The bigger the white dwarf, the smaller and the denser. Surely all those stars and galaxies were not designed only to be romantic scenery for human moods, right? The stars are for signs, and God named the stars. Astrology is the synthesizer of all sciences. And the brain itself is a receiver operated upon by celestial influences or angels. Astrology, the process of both chemical and physiological, whereby perfection and illumination may be attained. A perfect system of analysis, synthesis, and allocation which links up space, time, activity, and mankind. Purpose of astrology is to furnish us with the astrochemical plan for our physical and mental regeneration. A new seed is born within us every 29 days when the moon is in the sign of in which the sun was at the birth of us as an individual. When the first seed is saved, the entire body becomes changed, and the pineal gland becomes hard like a rock. The sun rules the pineal gland, and the moon the pituitary. Bathe in their light. Astronomy may be a perfect system, but astrologers and astronomers are not. But both astronomy and astrology are heavily populated by grifters, so we have to learn to do it ourselves. The stars are signs. The zodiac by months or months make a universal calendar under the firmament, equivalent space. Aries through Pisces, while precession or tilt goes backwards, Pisces through Aries, but about 26,000 times slower. Symmetric birotation, precession, the stars are for signs, but beware of bias and BS. Learn to read them ourselves. Okay, that is number 109, which is this 10th fractal of the second sphere. And we'll have a lot more to say about that, and we will be moving through the second sphere here in the next, this video in the next 11. So we'll be talking much more about the second sphere as we move along. But thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. Again, click the link in the description, or actually you can't click the link because the whole thing is set up, the automated system is not set up correctly, I just discovered. And so just leave a comment in the comment section with your email, and I will send you a free copy of my guide to the 144 fractal faculties, which will help you as you follow along on these videos. Also, my book, A MASSTree, is just an intro to the Tree of Life, and that is for sale for $10 if you can pay me by Cash App or Venmo and leave that in the memo. I'll send that to you. If you want to donate to the project, you can just do that through Cash App and Venmo, and don't leave anything in the memo, or something else in the memo. Stay tuned for future videos on this channel. Number 110 will be coming out by tomorrow. and other videos are in the offing. So stay tuned for all those things. Otherwise, have a great day, and we will see you soon.